Hey guys, this is Best. I'm sorry for the short what whiff, but I'm a bit crammed on time, so this is what you get. Naruto Uzumaki had been in bed at his old apartment. He looked out his window thinking to himself, it's been only a few days since we got back from Wave, and I still can't get over what happened. Imagine them calling me a hero. Sure, I convinced the people to stand up for what they believed in, but I always thought being a hero meant you had to defeat an enemy. He gazed up at the night sky, seeing all the stars. Is there truly an answer for what it means to be a hero? He suddenly noticed one of the stars appeared to be moving. He sat up and looked out his window further to see the star looked as if it was falling. What is that? He asked himself, as the star started look like a flaming bullet that fell right into the forest area of Konoha. Whoa, it landed, he started pondering, I wonder what that was. Maybe I should check it out. He got out of bed and changed into his orange jumpsuit. After donning his headband, he slipped on his sandals and went out the door. Naruto jumped along the buildings of his village through the night. Before reaching the forest area, it should have landed somewhere around here, he said, as he searched around before coming upon a crater in the earth. Naruto approached cautiously, before seeing in the center of the crater looked like a small metal pod. He looked down at the pod, inspecting it. What is this thing? He tapped it with a kunai, and backed away expecting a reaction from it. When he saw nothing happened, he chuckled to himself, feeling he was fretting over nothing, until he heard the pod opening up and releasing steam. Naruto, worried at what was about to happen, armed himself with his kunai before seeing something emerge from the pod. Though with the steam pouring out, he wasn't sure what it was. When the steam vanished, he saw it was a little creature approximately 5 inches tall. It looked like a bipedal frog-like amphibian with large, bulbous, green eyes with thin lines for pupils. Oh, that was an uncomfortable landing, the creature answered, before he looked up, seeing Naruto looking down at him in shock. Greetings. I am Azimuth of the planet Galvan Prime. And I need your help. He blinked, with his eyes closing horizontally from both sides of his eyes. The reaction he got from Naruto was the boy screaming in fright, which knocked the creature off his small legs. Naruto backed away while trembling. What the hell, what are you? He panicked. The creature groaned, as he got up. You need to calm down, I'm not going to hurt you. Though after that outburst I wouldn't mind taking a few swings, he grumbled to himself. Naruto, still trembling as he backed away, tripped on a rock and fell on his back. The little creature climbed up onto Naruto's chest and looked down at him. Are you finished? He asked rhetorically. Naruto cringed and nodded, still nervous about what he was talking to. Good. Now let me start over. He jumped off Naruto's chest, so Naruto could sit up. As I was saying, my name is Azimuth, and I come from the planet Galvan Prime, he began again. Planet? Naruto asked in confusion, before looking up at the sky. You mean you're an alien? To you I am, yes, he answered. Are you going to probe me? Naruto asked in worry. Azimuth groaned with a roll of his eyes. Where would you get an idea like that? I don't know. Naruto answered with a shrug, much to Azimuth's irritation. Anyway, I am looking for someone and I require your assistance. Looking for someone? Who? Naruto asked. I am looking for one known as Naruto Uzumaki, the alien explained. Do you know where I might find him? That would be me. Naruto pointed to himself. Azimuth looked at Naruto while analyzing him. Well, then the easy part is done. Easy part? Naruto wondered, and why were you looking for me? Before Azimuth could answer, they both heard incoming footsteps. I'll explain later. Right now we should go someplace less conspicuous. Right, Naruto agreed, as he picked Azimuth and put him on his shoulder. Hang on tight. Wait, we can't leave my pod. Azimuth pleaded. Naruto sighed as he tried to pick it up, only for his eyes to bulge up and cry as his hands were burning up. Hot, he waved his hands around to cool them down. He then removed his orange jacket and wrapped it around the pod. He was able to pick it up without getting burned and ran off with Azimuth quickly before Umbu arrived. "See anything?" one asked another. "Over there," the second said, as the group went to the crater. They saw the burned spot in the center where the pod was. "What could have landed here?" "I don't know." "We report this to Sandaime-sama, right away," another said, as they took off. Meanwhile, Naruto managed to get back to his apartment where he placed Azimuth's pod in the center of his room on the floor as it rested atop his jacket. Naruto sat on his bed panting in relief, as Azimuth stood at his side. "That was a close one." Naruto panted. "Too close," Azimuth said. "I must say you run exceptionally fast for a human." "Been doing it since I learned how to walk, and it's really come in handy." "Don't ask why," Naruto said. Azimuth nodded and got down to business, back on track. "Naruto, I've come here to Earth because I am in need of your help." "What do you want with a guy like me?" Naruto asked, "and how did you even know my name or even to come here?" "This may be a shock to you, but this isn't my first time on planet Earth." "You've been here before?" "Yes. Well, not here in this ninja land per se, but in another section of planet Earth that this side of the planet detached itself from and has not moved on so far in terms of technology and weaponry." "I have no idea what you're talking about," Naruto said, feeling clueless. "Of course you don't. My intellect far outweighs yours or anyone else on this planet," Azimuth replied. "Okay, don't start insulting me, and tell me how you know me." "As I was saying," Azimuth continued, "I came back to planet Earth after millennia because I desire someone to wield my greatest to creation and protect this planet from the threat of invading forces that desire to conquer this planet." "Invading forces?" Naruto gasped. "Correct. As for how I know you, I've done a background check of this planet's current inhabitants and searched for a human similar to the last hero of this planet who wielded my greatest creation." "Creation, what's that?" Naruto wondered. "Allow me to show you." Azimuth jumped off the bed, and went to his pod opening it up. He picked something up and climbed back onto the bed. He placed what he was carrying on the bed, as Naruto looked at it. It looked like a wristwatch with a squared faceplate and had a white and green color scheme. The faceplate was black with two green stripes forming an outline of an hourglass. "Is this a watch?" Naruto asked, feeling unimpressed. "You dimwit boy," Azimuth scolded him, "this watch as you call it is one of the most powerful creations in the universe, created by me. I call it the OmniTrix." "OmniTrix?" Naruto asked. "Yes, I designed it to be a tool to help understand all matter of life out in the galaxy by giving the wearer of it to walk in the shoes so to speak of other life forms," the genius explained. "Other life forms? You mean there are other aliens out there?" Naruto gasped, while looking up at the sky. "Precisely," Azimuth confirmed. "However, the OmniTrix attracted a whole galaxy worthy of tyrants who sought to use the OmniTrix for means of war and conquering. To protect it from harm, I sent it via escape pod to planet Earth where it was discovered by a 10-year-old boy who went by the name of Ben Tennyson." "Okay," Naruto said, feeling there's more. "When Ben first donned the OmniTrix, he used its function to become several alien species whose DNA were stored into it to become a hero." "A hero? That sounds cool." Naruto grinned. "Yes, when he himself wasn't causing the trouble himself." Azimuth mumbled to himself. "What do you mean?" "I'll get to that later, but while he used the OmniTrix for heroic deeds, he also attracted the attention of several of the galaxy's infamous criminals, bounty hunters, and warlords." Yikes. However, as time passed, Ben continued to wield the OmniTrix like a master. Thanks to his efforts, he actually managed to save the planet, if not the galaxy, a multitude of times. This Ben sounds totally cool when you put it that way. Naruto said, feeling more admired. Yes, he was, Azimuth admitted. Anyway, I chose you to become the new wielder of this OmniTrix because both you and Ben share multiple similar characteristics. Such as? Naruto inquired. Both of you are immature, clumsy, cocky, reckless, lack respect for highly respectable superiors, and disregard orders strictly given, he explained. Gee, thanks. Naruto answered sarcastically. But, Azimuth continued, both of you are headstrong, good-hearted, and sincere. Willing to put aside your own needs to help others, and fight for what you believe in. It became apparent to me that the universe needed more people like Ben. Then enters you. With proper motivation I feel you will become a worthy successor to Ben Tennyson. You think so? Naruto asked. I do. Because I feel this planet will need a hero of the OmniTrix once again as it did in the past. Why is that? Because I believe that there are still forces out there looking to take planet Earth for their own. Really? Naruto asked and Azimuth nodded. Yes. And I require you to help me in protecting this planet by wielding the OmniTrix as Ben did years ago. But how does it even work? Naruto asked as he looked at the watch. I will teach you how to use it along with every alien species stored into it. Do you accept this task, Naruto Uzumaki, even with all the dangers and risks that will come with it? Naruto pondered on Azimuth's question, and thought, this is all just too freaking weird. Here I am talking to an alien who wants me to use some important alien creation to help save the planet from some threat he feels is out there. But Azimuth said I may be the only one capable of wielding the OmniTrix's power. He gave me more credit than my own team does. And if I do accept this, maybe I could become a hero like this Ben guy. Plus maybe doing this will answer my question as to what it means to be a true hero. Naruto looked at Azimuth and answered, Azimuth, I accept. Azimuth cracked a smile, definitely like Ben. So when do we begin? Tomorrow, so I suggest you get some sleep, because we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I can't wait. Naruto said, as he went to bed, while Azimuth went back to his pod and typed onto a keyboard. Azimuth spoke to it, he's accepted the offer. Now we can begin. When the sun rose above the village, Naruto's alarm clock woke him up. The ninja sat up and rubbed his eyes. Oh, what a night, he groaned. Good morning, Naruto. Azimuth greeted him as he stood on Naruto's covers. Oh, good morning, Azimuth, Naruto yawned, before realizing something. Whoa, you're real. Azimuth put a hand to his face in embarrassment. Of course I'm real. What did you expect? Sorry, it's just as I slept a part of me thought it was all some weird dream. Naruto explained. Well, this is no dream I assure you. Azimuth promised him. Right. Naruto got out of bed, and went to take a shower. When he came out wrapped in a towel he saw a fresh new pair of clothes folded on his bed. Hey, where did these come from? I had these transported all the way to Galvan Prime for you to wear. Azimuth answered. But what about my jumpsuit? Naruto asked. I will not let any wearer of my OmniTrix walk around wearing a color easily to spot even from midair, Azimuth answered. Get yourself dressed, and we can begin your training. Okay. Naruto sighed, as he took his new clothes and went to get changed. He soon stepped out wearing camo pants with multiple pockets, a long-sleeved green shirt, with a short-sleeved black shirt over it. Imprinted on the front of the shirt was the OmniTrix symbol and on back was the red spiral symbol. You know, Azimuth, I think I could get used to this new look. Naruto admitted. I'm glad you like it. Now then, is there any place around here we can practice without any interruption? Azimuth inquired. Sure. Naruto said, with a smile. He grabbed his headband and tied it around his head before slipping into his sandals and left with Azimuth and the OmniTrix. Later Naruto and Azimuth were at an old training field that was unoccupied. Azimuth looked around before deciding, this will do fine. Okay, Naruto, for starters attach the OmniTrix to your wrist. Naruto held up the OmniTrix and strapped it to his left wrist. Upon being strapped, the watch started glowing green, until it died down. What just happened? Naruto asked. The OmniTrix has just bonded with your DNA and has recognized you as its wielder, Azimuth explained. Okay, so now that. Tap the faceplate. Naruto did so and saw a selection of 10 aliens appear on the screen. Press down on the watch and you'll see what happens. Naruto stopped on one of the aliens, and pressed down on the faceplate before it emitted a green flash. Naruto suddenly felt as his body was getting covered in rocks, and the rocks started heating up. Azimuth watched as the flash died down, and from where Naruto stood, now stood a tall fiery humanoid with red stones making up his body, and fire hair. The OmniTrix symbol was visible on his torso. Whoa, what just happened? Naruto asked, before realizing he sounded different. Hey, what's up with my voice? He then saw what he looked like. Whoa. I'm on fire. But it doesn't hurt. That's because the alien you've just transformed into is a Pyro Knight, one of the 10 aliens currently available inside the OmniTrix, Azimuth explained. These aliens reside on a star where the temperature's heat is on par with the sun's. Word of advice: don't ever go swimming in this form, for it could very well kill you. Whoa. So what can these aliens do? Their main power is pyrokinesis, the ability to manipulate fire. Azimuth explained. You mean like how some ninja can use fire jutsu? He asked. Precisely. This alien was in fact the first alien Ben transformed into when he discovered the OmniTrix. He named this form Heat Blast. Heat Blast. Correct, he had a knack for naming his alien forms. Well, Heat Blast sounds like a cool name. So how can I use this fire power? Heat Blast asked. You must concentrate on building up the fire your body is emitting, Azimuth explained, but be careful, otherwise you might set this whole area on fire. Alright. Concentrate. Heat Blast started concentrating, as the fire on him started building up in his hands. He looked at 2 training posts and launched the 2 fireballs and burned the posts to a crisp. Whoa. Did I do that? Yes. And soon you'll find out a Pyro Knight has other secrets to their powers, but for now your time as Heat Blast is almost up. What do you mean? Heat Blast asked, as he heard a sound emitting from the OmniTrix symbol on his chest as it was turning from green to red and back before another green flash was released and Heat Blast was Naruto again. Hey, I'm back. How'd it do that? The OmniTrix has been used to say timed out. Azimuth explained. Timed out. Yes. For you see, the OmniTrix is programmed with a limiter. Its function is to limit how long you can stay in a certain alien form. Without it, the longer you stay in one alien form, the greater the alien's own personality until you lose all sense of yourself. Seriously? Naruto asked, and Azimuth nodded. So now what? The OmniTrix needs at least 5 minutes to recharge, so until then how about I tell you how Ben first started off? Azimuth offered. Okay. Naruto said, as he took a seat before Azimuth, who sat on a boulder. Well, as you know, I created the OmniTrix to be used as a way for life forms to understand one another, but others sought to use it for destruction. So it was sent via escape pod to Earth, where young Ben Tennyson happened upon it. I know that much. Naruto replied. When Ben first started using it, he used it against multiple alien threats who sought it out, ranging from bounty hunters to alien warlords, even using it to take on criminals and other people with strange powers. Azimuth added. Was he alone? Not at all. He had with him his grandfather Max Tennyson and his cousin Gwen, who were all on a simple road trip across the states. They assisted Ben every way they could when faced with a challenge. Ben especially needed their help when taking on his greatest foe ever, Vilgax. "Who is Vilgax?" Naruto asked. "The worst tyrants in the galaxy. He suffed the OmniTrix more than anyone else. When he and Ben first met, his grandfather revealed he knew about the existence of aliens and Vilgax." "He did, but how?" "Max Tennyson was a plumber." "A plumber? What does plumbing have to do with aliens?" Naruto asked in confusion. "Plumbers are an intergalactic police force that ensures the safety of planet Earth and many other planets. Various species of aliens are plumbers, ranging from humans to even us Galvans." "So cool." Naruto smiled. Once the secret was let out, Max was able to further assist Ben with his knowledge of alien species and alien technology to help him combat various other enemies they encountered. Ben sure was lucky to have someone like his grandpa, Naruto said, feeling envious. "Yes, if not for him Ben would have been lost from the beginning." Azimuth chuckled. Naruto looked and saw the OmniTrix was recharged. "Looks like it's good to go now. Then select another alien and I shall tell you the facts," Azimuth ordered. "All right," Naruto said, as he scrolled through before stopping on one alien and pressed down on the watch. In a flash of green light, Naruto had transformed into an orange-furred gorilla dog creature with no eyes, sharp teeth, and gills. Around its neck was a green collar with the OmniTrix symbol. The alien let out a howl, and looked at himself. Before Azimuth spoke, "Naruto, listen to me. You have just transformed into a Vulpimancer, but Ben calls his form Wild Mutt. A Vulpimancer's abilities are used for tracking, and while you may not have eyes, the gills on your body will allow you to see and sense anything around you. Downside is Vulpimancers aren't capable of speech, plus with your enhanced senses sound and smell will be your enemy if it's too much for you to handle." Wild Mutt let out a disappointed scoff, and started getting used to the canine-like abilities by feeling what was around him until his OmniTrix timed out. A few minutes later, Naruto reactivated the OmniTrix and became a tall, muscular green diamond-skinned alien with yellow eyes, and 2 green crystals sticking out of his back. His form was wearing a short-sleeved shirt like Naruto's along with his camo pants. "So what's this one?" Naruto's new alien form asked. "You are now a Petrosapien. A crystal-like alien whose bodies are near invulnerable to most physical attacks," Azimuth explained. "Invincible? Now that's what I'm talking about," Naruto cheered. Ben's name for his Petrosapien form was called Diamond Head, Azimuth explained. "Not a bad name," Diamond Head admitted as he looked at his hands, seeing them both convert into crystal spears. "Whoa, how'd that happen?" Petrosapiens can change their arms' shapes into spears, as well as launching crystal shards. These aliens keep getting more and more cooler. Diamond Head chuckled. "Give the diamond shard launch a try," Azimuth suggested. Diamond Head aimed his hands at some target posts, and upon firing multiple shards the force was strong for him. He fell on his ass. Good thing that didn't hurt. "You must learn how to use these new alien forms with care, Naruto," Azimuth began. "It will take practice before you know how to use all their abilities to the best of their advantages." "Yes, Sir," Diamond Head answered, and soon enough the OmniTrix timed out. "Naruto, if I recall correctly, your records show you are already a shinobi of this village." "That's right. It's my dream to one day become Hokage and earn the respect of the village," Naruto explained. "Being a leader is serious business, Naruto. Do you truly think you'd be up for the task? That's why I'm learning through my training on how to be a better ninja." "I see. What sort of moves do you know?" "Well, I got this one." Naruto formed a hand sign, Tajuyokagen Bunshin no Jutsu. Suddenly hundreds of Narutos appeared, taking Azimuth by surprise. "What do you think?" the Narutos asked. Amazing, your jutsu is just like the ability of a Splik-sun. What? One of the Narutos asked. Never mind. Basically this is the only true jutsu I know, while I rely on my own taijutsu abilities and henge technique in conjuncture with my clones. He dispelled the clones. Interesting, I wonder if your clone jutsu could actually be used by your other alien forms. Azimuth pondered. You think so? Naruto gasped. Well, at least aliens with appendages, he answered, but we'll try that another time. When the OmniTrix was all set again, Naruto used it to become a blue and black report-alic creature with a visor and black balls on his feet, along with the OmniTrix symbol on his torso. He was dashing around all over the place, as Azimuth explained. Echinocelerans known for their great speed, but cannot control themselves while running atop certain non-solid ground such as mud and ice. Plus, due to not having enhanced strength, these are mostly known for making quick getaways or can be used for restraining others. That is how Ben used his form known as XLR8. With this kind of speed I could travel all across the ninja land in the snap of a finger. XLR8 cheered, as he continued running around in circles. Azimuth watched and spoke to himself. He's definitely got Ben's high-spirited nature. He couldn't help but smile as he saw Ben in place of Naruto. After the OmniTrix timed out, Naruto asked Azimuth a question. Tell me more about Ben's allies besides his grandpa. He had a cousin, right? Yes. Gwen was Ben's cousin. As kids the two would always engage in squabbles, but then again that's what family does, Azimuth explained. As they grew older they started respecting each other a lot more. And as she grew Gwen discovered she herself was special in her family. Special how? Naruto asked. Well, when she was 10 years old she developed an interest in the magical arts, and used spells and incantations to be known as Lucky Girl. As she got older she discovered most of her magic came from another source. What's that? Gwen was part Anodite. Azimuth answered. Anodite. An Anodite is an alien species made entirely out of energy known as mana. They have the ability to manipulate their own energy into various forms. How is it possible she's part alien? Well, Max Tennyson married an Anodite and as his bloodline passed only she was the one blessed with the power. Amazing. Was there anyone else close to Ben? Yes, he had a friend named Kevin Levin. Although they didn't always start off as friends. They didn't. No. Kevin originally was a street urchin with the ability to absorb electrical energy and fire it right back. He tricked Ben into trying to commit crimes with him, but Ben refused. Kevin discovered he could assimilate energy from the OmniTrix and take on a hybrid form of whatever alien Ben was at the time. When he tried to take too much it bounced back on him. Ouch. Naruto cringed. The next time they met, Kevin revealed he gained the ability to transform into any of the 10 aliens Ben had at the time, and used that to frame him. He and Ben fought hard, and Kevin suddenly mutated into a hybrid form of his 10 alien species with no way of changing back. However, years later, it revealed that Kevin was in fact the son of a plumber, and that his powers stemmed from a species known as Osmosian. Water Osmosians. A type of human subspecies that have their own unique abilities, Azimuth began. After Kevin discovered his absorption could absorb more than just energy, he used it to absorb matter and change his body to make it as durable as the properties of the matter he touched from rock, metal, wood. Anything as long as it's durable. Whoa. So how did Kevin become Ben's pal? Well, after his defeat Ben banished him to a place known as the Null Void where alien criminals are banished to. After doing his time, Kevin was released and started acting as a weapons dealer to multiple alien bounty hunters. He joined Ben and Gwen looking for a better life as a promise to someone who gave their life to save his. Wow. Yes. Kevin may have started out as a juvenile delinquent worse than Ben, but he grew out of it and became a true friend who would do anything for his friends and family. Kevin sounds like quite a friend. Naruto smiled. When the OmniTrix was ready again, Naruto clicked it and suddenly found himself as a Galvan wearing a green and black bodysuit, with the OmniTrix symbol as a belt. "Hey, I'm you." Galvan, Naruto gasped. "Correct, you are now a Galvan just like me, or as Ben calls us Grey Matters." Azimuth put an arm around him. "Now while we Galvans lack in size and physical strength, we make up for with our highly evolved intellects." "You're right. I feel really smart right now," Grey Matter Naruto gasped, as he grabbed a stick and started drawing up some formulas in the dirt. "Oh, man, if I had this intellect back at the Ninja Academy, I would have passed like that." He snapped his digits. "It's thanks to our brains we've been able to come up with highly advanced technologies and weaponry for the plumbers on Earth," Azimuth began. "I wonder if I could use this intellect to build my own kind of weaponry," Grey Matter pondered to himself. "Don't be getting so ahead of yourself, Naruto. You've still got a long way to go," Azimuth said. "I know," Grey Matter answered, until he realized something. "Hey, what time is it?" "About 8 o'clock in the AM," Azimuth answered. "Oh my gosh, I got to get to my squad meeting. Come on, time out already." He paced around to wear the OmniTrix out until it finally started beeping and he turned back. "Sorry to cut the lesson short, Azimuth, but I need to get to my ninja squad daily meeting." "I understand, Naruto." "Hey, maybe you can come and watch," Naruto offered. "I'd rather not be known by anyone else aside from you, Naruto. At least not at this given time," Azimuth answered. "Don't worry, you can watch from the side. Climb in here." He opened up his ninja pouch. "This is demeaning," Azimuth said, while looking inside. "I'm sorry, but in here no one will see you," Naruto said. Azimuth sighed. "Okay, just don't move around so much." He climbed inside, as Naruto closed it. "Better hurry so I don't be late." Naruto took off, but stopped. "Whoa, better not let this be seen." He slid his sleeve down so it covered the OmniTrix. He took off again. At the training ground for Squad 7, Naruto arrived to greet his teammates Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha. "Hey, guys, what's up?" Naruto asked. "What took you so long?" Sasuke inquired. "Alarm clock didn't wake me up," Naruto lied. "Think it's about time for me to get a new one." Sakura noticed his attire. "Naruto, what are you wearing?" "Just some new clothes is all, Sakura. What do you think?" "Well, they're a definite improvement, that's for sure," she admitted. "Well, thanks." Naruto smiled. After their last mission in Wave, the three had changed in more ways than one. After Sasuke's near-death experience, he learned to appreciate his comrades, and Sakura learned to be nicer to Naruto and try to pull her own weight. The three once again waited for their sensei Kakashi Hatake for over an hour, as Naruto thought, "What was I thinking showing up at the designated time? I could have finished getting to know about the other aliens in the OmniTrix. Wonder how Azimuth is holding up inside the pouch." Inside the pouch, Azimuth was cramping up and groaning. "I have to get out of here before I get crushed." He poked his eyes through an opening in the pouch. Naruto, noticing this, turned to see his teammates looked distracted enough for him to go to a tree and let Azimuth out. "Sorry about that," Naruto apologized. "You need to organize what you keep in there," Azimuth said. "Right. Well, you just wait here, and I'll come back for you after training is over." And with that, Naruto went back to join his team. Eventually Kakashi dropped in. "Yo. You're late." Sakura chewed him out. "Yeah, sorry, but I was helping an old lady with groceries cross the street," he explained sheepishly. "I'll bet," Naruto mumbled to himself. Kakashi noticed Naruto's new look. "Nice clothes, Naruto." "Thanks. Now then, Today's lesson will be Taijutsu. I'm going to show you all basic moves to get you started. Kakashi began demonstrating some basic hand-to-hand combat moves, as the three watched. Soon all three of them were practicing the moves Kakashi had taught them, with Kakashi correcting certain stances and forms they didn't quite have. As they trained, Azimuth watched from behind the tree enjoying the display as if he was learning himself. About a few hours later, training was done. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke went their separate ways, leaving Naruto to collect Azimuth. So, Azimuth, what did you think? Naruto asked. Your sensei seems like an effective leader. Yeah. He'd never abandon his comrades. Naruto smiled. Your teammates also seem like unique individuals, much like Gwen and Kevin were with Ben. Azimuth added. Yeah, they are different. And just about over a week ago they all hated my guts for their own stupid reasons. Naruto explained. No doubt due to the infatuation the girl has with the Uchiha, as well as his desire to be the best. Azimuth deduced. Yeah, how'd you guess? I could read each of them like a book. Azimuth answered. Right. Naruto replied. Well, then, should we get back to training? Not just yet. I need to eat something. Naruto answered. Well, it is best to keep your strength up. Azimuth noted. Come on, he picked Azimuth up and placed him inside his pants pocket, before heading off. Naruto went into Konoha's market where he was having ramen at his favorite if not only place to eat. Naruto had finished his third bowl. Man, that's good eats. Thanks, guys, he told Tookie and his daughter Ayam. Our pleasure, Naruto. Tookie answered. With you around we'll never go out of business. Ayam chuckled. Got that right. Naruto chuckled. After paying for his meal, he started walking back for the one training ground, until Azimuth climbed out of his pocket and sat on his shoulder. Seeing no one else was around, is that substance ramen all you eat? Of course. Nothing tastes better. Naruto grinned. Azimuth sighed. No wonder you're shorter than the average 13-year-old. You suffer from malnutrition. Well, sorry, but I can't exactly get good food on my own. Naruto argued. Too cheap. Azimuth challenged. No. Nearly every adult in this village treats me like garbage, overcharge me for food and decent clothing. You've seen my living style, he reminded him. Have you any idea why the people here are like that? Naruto wasn't sure how to answer it, knowing it's been a secret nobody was allowed to talk about. He was cut off as he saw he was about to walk right into someone. Azimuth quickly hid behind Naruto's head, as Naruto stopped and saw he nearly bumped into an old academy classmate of his named Hinata Hyuga. Whoa, sorry, Hinata. Almost bumped into you. Naruto apologized sheepishly. Naruto, she gasped, I'm the one that should be sorry. I should have watched where I was going. Guess, we're both at fault, huh? Naruto asked, and the two chuckled sheepishly. Azimuth watched from behind Naruto's head, as the boy continued to try and converse with the girl, as she did in return. So, how's your squad doing? Oh, we're doing swell, Hinata answered. Of course, Kiba still acts smug when faced with something, and she knows remains quiet unless he really has something to say, which isn't so very often. Well, that's not surprising on both their halves. Naruto answered. What about your squad? She asked. We're doing okay, he answered. We did just get back not too long ago from the Wave Country. Really? She asked in amusement. Oh, yeah. We were on a simple C-rank mission that ended up turning into a B-rank mission. A B-rank mission? Hinata gasped, with a hand over her mouth. That's right. At first it was supposed to be a simple escort mission, but we ended up encountering Nukenin from Kiri. My goodness. especially since one of them was a former member of Kiri's 7 swordsmen, he added. Were you all okay? Hinata asked in worry. It wasn't anything we couldn't handle, Naruto answered, before looking down, although I almost lost a comrade in our last battle. Even though his death was a fake, it felt as if I wasn't strong enough to have helped him. Because if that was a real death then he wouldn't be alive for real. Naruto, Hinata said in sympathy. Naruto looked at her seriously. That's why I need to get stronger, Hinata. For the sake of my squad and my friends. I don't want to watch anyone else close to me die or even come close to dying. Azimuth smiled as he listened to him, but noticed Hinata looked at Naruto with admiration. The girl spoke, I'm sure you can get stronger, Naruto. Naruto looked at her. You do? He asked, as she had a faint blush on her face. Of course. I believe you can. Hinata encouraged him. Naruto smiled, thanks, Hinata. You sure know how to encourage a guy, Hinata giggled, while still blushing. Well, I better get going. I'll see you around, Hinata. He started walking, as Azimuth hid in his shirt making him tense but continued on. Bye, Naruto, she said, before taking her leave. As she walked she thought, that had to be the longest I've ever talked to Naruto before. As Naruto was far enough away from Hinata, Azimuth crawled out of his shirt. Ugh, you reek of sweat. What do you expect when I've been training for hours? Naruto asked dryly. Azimuth sighed, so what do you know about that girl? Hinata? She's nice. Naruto answered. Just nice? Azimuth asked. And she's a good listener. Why do you ask? Naruto asked, as he walked. Well, I happen to believe she likes you. Naruto looked at the alien on his shoulder. Is that all? So what if she likes me? Azimuth groaned. I mean she likes you in that way. Oh, that way, Naruto said, as he went silent for a moment before bursting out. What? What do you mean that way? Exactly what I said. Azimuth replied smugly. Oh, come on, you really think Hinata feels that way about me? Azimuth sighed, you are clueless when it comes to these feelings, aren't you? Naruto shrugged, well, let me tell you, boy. Young love is a wonderful thing to all matter of species, even us Galvans. Have you ever been in love? Naruto asked. Actually, yes. This was during my younger years. I was seeing a beautiful Galvan named Zenith. We were happy together and cherished every moment we had until he started getting dismal. Until what? I drove her away, he finished. What happened? I became obsessed with creating a powerful weapon. The OmniTrix. No, something far more powerful, he answered. Zenith did not approve of this and felt I was becoming obsessed with my work. By the time I realized what dangers my creation was capable of, she had already left me. I'm sorry. Naruto apologized. Azimuth continued, since then I dedicated my life to more good research in hopes one day she would return. He sighed sadly, she never did. Naruto felt bad for him but tried to lighten his spirits. I'm sure if she knew the good you did afterward she'd be proud of you. Azimuth smiled, I hope she would too. He soon shook it off, not wanting to get too sentimental. Now then, we must return to your training. Right. Naruto agreed, as he jogged back to the training area. When he returned, Naruto was looking through the OmniTrix before selecting one of the remaining 5 aliens unlocked. He slammed down on the watch and transformed. He now stood as a bulky muscular red alien with 4 arms and 4 yellow eyes. He was wearing a black tank top with a large green stripe going down the middle, a green belt with the OmniTrix in the center, Naruto's camo pants, and each fist had a black fingerless glove. Whoa, check me out. Naruto gasped. Azimuth spoke up, you are now a Tetramand, Naruto. Naruto noticed his extra arms. Whoa, I got 4 arms. That's exactly Ben's identity for this species. Azimuth explained. 4 arms. Azimuth nodded and continued. Tetramans are known for their incredible strength and extra set of limbs and are capable of jumping very high with their equally strong legs, Azimuth explained. Ben liked this alien very much. But whenever he desired to transform into it when he first got the OmniTrix, he wouldn't get this choice so much. But be warned, with how much strength you use, you're likely to cause more damage if you throw your strength around recklessly. I see. Still, I think I might like this one the most so far. Yes, well, don't get too attached to one alien, you want to go it all the time. This is how Ben ended up losing one of his aliens when he was still a kid. What do you mean? 4 Arms asked. Years ago, Ben had another extra alien known as a conductoid that Ben called Feedback, Azimuth explained. Upon discovering the selection, Ben had started using it a lot, too much in fact. I was called down by his grandfather to warn Ben that overusage of the conductoid so often could affect how he controls his other aliens. Ben, naturally being more ignorant as a child, took it as us telling him what to do, and stormed away. Only to be attacked by an enemy by the name of Malware, who removed Feedback from the OmniTrix and destroyed it, and worse of all, the conductoid DNA wouldn't be accepted by the OmniTrix again. Whoa. Yes, Ben was greatly affected by this because losing Feedback was like losing a part of himself. I told him that from this mistake he made he could learn from it, but it took him 5 years for him to forgive himself because of it. When he did, he regained the ability to become Feedback again. Wow. Remember, Naruto, you yourself won't always be as successful as you hoped. Sacrifices me being forced on you. That is what being a ninja is all about, Azimuth. Though, I don't like the idea of ninjas being seen only tools of war who must never show emotion, he admitted. Azimuth saw how this ideal really struck Naruto, until the OmniTrix timed out. When it was recharged, Naruto activated it and became a bug-like alien. His body was black and green, had 4 insect-like flat legs with 2 arms with 3 clawed-fingered hands, 4 small pedunculated eyes linked directly to the sides of his head that bore the OmniTrix symbol, insect-like wings, and a point tail. Whoa, I'm a bug, he asked. A lepidopteran to be precise, or as Ben calls them, stinkfly, Azimuth explained. They are an insect species capable of flying, spitting a sticky goo substance, releasing noxious gas, and can sting their opponent using their tails. One of the things you must be cautious about when using this alien is to avoid getting the wings wet, otherwise you will not be able to fly. A lepidopteran's wings are extremely fragile. No water in this form. Got it. Now let's see how this works. Naruto/Stinkfly began, as he started flapping his wings and took it to the sky, flying around in circles. I'm flying. I'm flying. I'm flying, he cheered. He then stopped in midair. What else did you say this alien could do? Spit goo. He aimed his eyes down as goo blobs were spat from the eyes down on the ground. One of the blobs ended up hitting Azimuth, covering him with the gunk. The intelligent alien frowned, while Stinkfly looked sheepish. Sorry. Soon enough, Naruto was sitting by a pond as Azimuth had finished washing the stuff off his body. Now then, become the next alien on the list, Azimuth instructed. Naruto nodded and slammed onto the watch, transforming yet again. He stood as a tall fish-like creature with a phosphorescent light on his head, and his body was gray with green fins, and had black neck and arm braces, and a green belt with the OmniTrix symbol. Now I'm a fish, he asked. Yes, and I would advise you to get into the water now, Azimuth suggested. Why? Naruto asked before he started panting. Water. He jumped into the water and emerged sighing in relief. That's more like it. You are now a Piscis volans, more commonly known to Ben as Ripyaws. And like regular Earth aquatic creatures, needs to stay hydrated. This is one alien not to use out on dry land. Noted. Ripyaws said. The aquatic aliens are excellent swimmers known for their speed while swimming about the waters. Plus being fish like you yourself will be able to breath the water. Wicked. Your new sharp jaws also allow you bite through just about anything, hence how Ben got to name this breed. Guess that means this alien will be limited to usage. Ripyaws asked, before hearing the OmniTrix beep. He got out of the water and transformed back. Soon Naruto activated the OmniTrix again and became a big black and green alien with the OmniTrix symbol functioning as a single eye, and circuitry stripe patterns on the body. Whoa, what's this? He asked in his regular voice that sounded robotic. You have become a galvanic mechamorph, or an upgrade. Azimuth explained. Galvanic. Upgrade / Naruto asked, are these species related to your kind? It's a long story. I got the time. Azimuth explained, the creation of the mechamorphs was a complete accident. The planet Galvan B was originally an uninhabited moon, orbiting my home planet. Me and several other scientists were working on a way to make the moon habitable, but we ended up creating a sentient life form. The mechamorphs. Upgrade answered. Azimuth nodded. Now then, a mechamorph has the power to fuse with any kind of technology to improve it, but since the technology in this land is far behind the rest of the world, that ability won't be as much use to you. However, they possess the ability to shoot lasers from their singular eyes, and can shape-shift into technology they have touched at least once in their life. And has the mechamorph whose DNA was taken for the OmniTrix touched anything useful? See for yourself. Azimuth encouraged him. Upgrade concentrated and suddenly took on the form of battle armor complete with blasters and rocket booster. Holy shit, this is amazing. He raised his hands and suddenly the blasters started shooting some nearby trees. Azimuth took cover. Cease fire, Naruto. I don't think I can stop. Naruto cried, until the watch timed out and he transformed back. Azimuth spoke sternly, no using that mode until you learn to use the regular mechamorph form. Yes, Sir, Naruto answered sheepishly. Now it's time for you to turn into the 10th alien Ben started out with. Azimuth instructed. Naruto nodded, and awaited the watch to recharge. Soon enough the OmniTrix recharged, and Naruto activated the final alien and took the form of a spectral-looking creature with greenish-white skin with one visible green eye at the top, green chains all over his front side which lead to his neck, waist, and center/chest, spikes on the elbows. 2 cuffs on each of his arms, and the OmniTrix symbol was at center of his chains. What am I? He asked with a faint whispering voice. You are an ectoneurite, a species of alien with similar properties to what you humans refer to as ghosts. The Galvan explained. Ghosts. I'm a ghost. Naruto panicked. You are merely an alien with properties of one. Don't worry, you're not dead. Azimuth assured him. That's a relief. Naruto sighed. Now then, Ben's ectoneurite form was given the name Ghost Freak. However, ectoneurites have always been a problem, especially concerning the OmniTrix. How so? The ectoneurite whose DNA was taken as a sample for the OmniTrix was known as Z-Scare. Azimuth began. He was the ectolord of his home planet. He offered the assistance to an old assistant of mine in collecting DNA samples for the OmniTrix. He possessed one of the species she was collecting DNA from, and his DNA was added in addition. And an ectoneurite's very consciousness exists even in a single DNA strand. Fortunately, his personality remained dormant for a long time, until he became strong enough to escape the OmniTrix itself. But he needed to possess Ben in order to become whole again. Whoa. Ben, Gwen, and their grandfather were able to destroy him by exposing him in the sunlight. I take it Ghost Freaks species aren't fond of light. No. Not unless they're wearing the second skin layer that your form has. So then I take it Ghost Freak was gone for good. Naruto/Ghost Freak asked. I'm afraid not. Azimuth answered. He had followers who resurrected him, only for Ben to re-assimilate him into the OmniTrix. For safekeeping he was once again removed and imprisoned on my planet. But he still found ways of escaping his imprisonment, until he was finally put down for good. Will I have to worry about him possessing me or anything? Naruto Ghost Freak asked. Not at all. The improvements on the OmniTrix design you have has allowed it to contain only the DNA of the ectoneurite and no trace of its original personality. Azimuth assured him. Thank goodness. Ghost Freak said. Now then, an ectoneurite can hover, pass through solid walls, go intangible and invisible, including the power of Pose's Zion. You mean in this form I can take over a person's body and use any abilities they may contain? Ghost Freak snickered. This could be a very useful alien. Don't get any ideas just yet. Azimuth warned him. Kidding. A little, he mumbled to himself. And remember, it's best you keep the second layer of skin on even in the night time. In this form light will be your enemy if you're in the full ectoneurite form. If you say so, the ghost alien answered, before he transformed back into Naruto. Okay, you covered the 10 aliens you've allowed to be unlocked right now. Now what do we do? Naruto inquired. Tomorrow we start your training in using the abilities of each of your 10 aliens, and possibly incorporate your jutsu into them. Sweet. Naruto smiled. And I may have a way to also improve on your taijutsu skills when you're just being Naruto. How? The ninja asked. That'll be for tomorrow, but for now let's go back. Azimuth ordered. Naruto nodded, as he picked Azimuth up, and they headed back to his apartment. That night, both Naruto and Azimuth were sitting on the bed in meditating positions. Suddenly, deep inside Naruto's mind, he woke up in a sewer. Hey, where am I? He looked up ahead and saw a giant gate with a tag reading seal on it. What's in there? He took a few steps forward before he froze and felt as if the whole area around him was swarming with high chakra. Taking him by surprise, some giant nails went through the bars trying to get him, only for Naruto to jump back. What the hell? He gasped, before he looked up, seeing a pair of red glowing eyes appear on the other side before he saw the full figure being the very thing he found out was sealed inside him at birth. The nine-tailed fox. A demon of power and rage that nearly destroyed Konoha 13 years ago, until he was sealed inside of a baby born that day by the village's Yondaime Hokage. That baby was Naruto. When he was told that by Mizuki, it dawned on him as to why the villagers feared and hated him, but he realized from Iruka he isn't what he houses but is his own self. The demon spoke. Welp, I would eat you, but this infernal cage prevents me from doing so. So you're the Kyuubi, huh? Naruto asked. Who did you expect? The demon asked rhetorically. No one else, Naruto admitted. I can't believe I'm finally looking at you face to face. And how does it feel? The demon snickered. To be honest, I'm angry, no make that furious at you. Naruto called him out. Thanks to you, this whole village has been using me as a scapegoat to take their frustrations out on because of the destruction you caused the village. So what do you want? An apology? The Kyuubi asked rhetorically. No, because I don't expect you to even give me one, even if I did ask for it. Naruto replied. Guess you're not as dumb as I thought you were, he mocked. Hey, leave the kid alone, a voice called out. Naruto spun around and saw 6 figures coming into the light. What he saw were the 10 aliens he had access to in the OmniTrix. It's you guys. But how? I thought you were. Azimuth may have said that each DNA sample doesn't contain the personality of the species, but we are manifestations of you when you take on each of our forms. Gray Matter explained. And why are you all here? Naruto questioned. When you donned the OmniTrix, all of our DNAs have merged when you transformed into each of us. Heat Blast explained. There are still more of us who've yet to be unlocked, and will remain locked until you are given access to them. Diamond Head added. I feel like a hotel for others. Naruto rolled his eyes. If so, then you're a lousy hotel. Kyuubi spoke up. You just don't shut up, do you? Four Arms asked, getting irritated by his mocking. Easy, Four Arms, no need to get riled up. Ghost Freak laid a hand on the Tetraman's shoulder. So this guy is the cause of all your suffering? Upgrade asked. Unfortunately. Naruto sighed. You should be grateful to house me inside you. After all, without my chakra and healing factor you would have died at the hands of those idiot villagers years ago, Kyuubi explained. In fact, you had a taste of what my chakra is capable of. It made you stronger, faster, more powerful than ever. Your influence almost made me kill someone. Naruto shouted. That's what you ninjas are, remember? You'll eventually have to kill sooner or later, the demon reminded him. Naruto frowned at his words but sighed, as he looked down. I know. And the more you use my chakra, the more capable you will be able to get the job done. Not unless he's got us to back him up. XLR8 replied. That's right, so don't try and coax him into becoming just like you. Stinkfly said. All of you stop. Naruto shouted, taking the 10 aliens and the demon by surprise. Whether I hate having the Kyuubi inside of me or not, he's right about one thing. He is, the 10 aliens asked in confusion. Yes. If it weren't for his chakra or healing factor I wouldn't be alive today, he admitted, before looking up at the demon, but I still don't like the idea of you influencing my mind when I use your chakra. If you're gonna be living inside me, we're playing by my rules. And I say, if you don't wanna die with me, you'll give me your chakra when I truly need it and you stay out of my head when I use it. The Kyuubi growled, you have balls to be demanding that much out of me. Naruto frowned, as the aliens stood their ground, until the demon smirked and snickered. I guess a part of me is rubbing off on you. Until next time you require my chakra, boy. He vanished into the cage as the atmosphere around Naruto returned to normal. About time he zipped the lip. Rip Yaws said, as Wild Mutt nodded in agreement. Naruto looked to the aliens. I wanna thank you guys for sticking up for me. Don't sweat it, kid. Diamond Head said. Yeah, you're stuck with us for now. Four Arms added. I look forward to using your abilities to become not only stronger, but to also keep this planet safe from these invaders, Azimuth spoke of. You can count on us to come through for you, Naruto. Heat Blast assured him. Well, then. Let's put them in. Naruto suggested, as he put his hand out. Diamond Head placed his hand on top of his, followed by Wild Mutt, Rip Yaws, Upgrade, Heat Blast, Ghost Freak, Stinfly, XLR8, Four Arms, and finally Grey Matter crouched on top of the pile of hands. Break, they announced, and Naruto suddenly woke up from his meditation. Azimuth opened his eyes, and spoke, I can tell you just had a close encounter. Yeah. The aliens in the OmniTrix entered my mind and conversed with me, he explained. And the nine-tailed demon as well. Azimuth guessed. Yeah. Hey, how do you know about the Kyuubi? Naruto asked in shock. I've done all my research on the ninja land as well as every nation and their histories, Azimuth explained. I know how it was you chosen to become the vessel to house the demon when it attacked the village. And do you feel what the village feels about me? Naruto asked, expecting the worst. Naruto, I am smarter than every human who's ever lived in this village since the day it was built, Azimuth reminded him. I'm not biased and blinded by hate like they are. If I was like them I never would have given you the OmniTrix. Naruto looked down at him, looking happy as his eyes watered. You mean it? You are a good person, Naruto. Despite your flaws. Some people here cannot see that because they are incapable of seeing beyond what the eyes see. Coming from someone who doesn't live here on this planet, that means a lot to me. Naruto smiled. Azimuth smiled. You should probably get some sleep. We got a lot more to do tomorrow. Right. Naruto agreed as he turned in. Azimuth went back to his pod in the room and clicked on the control board before speaking into it. Day 2, Naruto has learned about the 10 alien species he has access to. He will learn to use their powers as he further practices with them. The next day at the same time and place, Azimuth was teaching Naruto some tips on how to use his starting 10 aliens to the best of his and their advantages. Because Naruto was noted there wasn't a squad meeting today, he was able to get a lot more training done in using the aliens. After finishing the last of the 10 aliens, Naruto looked to Azimuth as the Galvan pulled out a small cube. Azimuth, what's that? This, Naruto, will allow me to help further your hand-to-hand combat training or taijutsu if you will. Azimuth began as he activated it, and suddenly the small alien was piloting a galvanic mechamorph-like armor. Whoa! What is that? Naruto gasped in shock. This was my father's mechamorph armor he left to me. Azimuth explained from inside the armor. Your dad? That's correct. This armor functions like a regular mechamorph, but can also be used for up-close combat. Cool. Naruto admitted. Yes. Anyway, I will further your taijutsu training while using this. Alright then. Let's get started. Naruto said eagerly. I thought you'd never ask. Azimuth answered smugly, as he started blasting at Naruto, who was jumping around. Hey, this is supposed to be taijutsu training, he protested. Yes, for you, Azimuth answered, you must avoid my long-ranger attacks and combat me from up close. Without using the OmniTrix. Azimuth, you can be very evil. Naruto growled. First time I've been called that. And so Naruto was forced to combat Azimuth's mechamorph armor while avoiding the blasts. When he got up close, he was using whatever beginner's taijutsu Kakashi had been teaching him and his team. He managed to land some blows, but the armor was too strong by his mere taijutsu. Eventually Naruto had worn himself out from so much fighting, as Azimuth powered down his armor. Not a bad first run, but could still use some improving. I won't deny it. Naruto panted. Well, we'll stop for today, Naruto. Thanks. He laid back to rest. After getting enough rest, Naruto was walking with Azimuth poking out of Naruto's pants pocket. The boy was wondering what to do now, until he heard the cry of some kids. He followed the trail, before coming around a corner and saw Kano Amaru Sarutobi, the grandson of the Sandame, and with him were 2 other kids his age. Kano Amaru was currently being lifted off the ground by a boy in a black outfit and wore face paint, and carried something on his back all wrapped up. Next to him was a girl with 4 pigtails and carried a huge fan on her back. Kano Amaru, Naruto thought in worry before going to put a stop to it. Hey. The group looked seeing Naruto approach, as Kano Amaru called, Aniki. What the hell do you think you're doing? Naruto demanded out of the older boy. This kid ran into me, so I'm teaching him some manners. The boy in black answered. If you know what's good for you, you'll let him go right now. Naruto warned him. And if I don't, the older boy challenged Naruto. Then I'll be the one teaching you some manners. A challenge is it? The boy asked with a smirk. The girl spoke up. Kankuro, for crying out loud, knock it off before he shows up. Don't worry, Tamari, we got all the time, the boy named Kankuro answered. I'm warning you. Naruto said firmly, as he was feeling tempted to use the OmniTrix, until another voice called out. Enough of this. The group looked up, seeing a red-haired boy who had dark rings around his eyes and had a gourd on his back was standing on a tree branch. Gaara, the 2 gasped. Kankuro, put the child down, the boy named Gaara ordered the other. But, Gaara, the kid ran into. Put him down and shut up. Unless you want me to kill you, he threatened him. Kankuro trembled, while Naruto thought, his tone, he's serious. Azimuth looked up from the pocket, and thought to himself, this boy definitely has a bad look in his eyes, and not just the insomnia. Kankuro released Konohamaru, who went back over to Naruto and the other two kids. Gaara jumped from the tree and landed before the other two before facing Naruto. I apologize for the grief my brother has brought upon you. He is a shame to our village. He looked back at Kankuro, who looked ashamed. Never mind that, Naruto answered, while noticing their headbands. You're all from Suna. Aren't you three a long ways from your village? We're here for the Chunin exams. The girl Tamari said, as she showed him her passport. I see. And what are your names? Naruto requested. I'm Tamari, this is Kankuro, and this is... Gaara cut her off. Sabaku no Gaara, and you are? Naruto Uzumaki. Gaara nodded. I hope to see you again, Naruto Uzumaki. Thanks, he answered unsurely, as the three walked off. As Gaara walked away, he thought, I can feel it in me. He and I are one and the same. Except I am stronger. Naruto thought to himself as well, no joke about it. I can feel something inside him just like me. He snapped out of it when he felt a tug on his pants. He looked, seeing Konohamaru, who spoke, Aniki, that was great the way you stared him in the eyes. Thanks, but I didn't do much. Naruto admitted. Still, you came and were willing to fight for me. You're cool. Oh, Konohamaru. Naruto chuckled. Is this the guy you spoke of, Konohamaru? The boy asked. That's right. Aniki, these are my pals Udon and Mogi. Hi. Udon greeted him. Nice to meet you, the girl Mogi greeted. Nice to meet you guys. Glad to see Konohamaru has his own posse. I love your clothes, by the way, Aniki. Konohamaru marveled. Thanks. Well, it's been fun seeing you all, but I really should get going. Maybe I'll see you all around. That'd be great. Konohamaru said. Catch you all later. Naruto said, as he walked on. As Naruto got out of reach of the kids, Azimuth crawled out of the pocket and up to Naruto's shoulder. I knew you were planning on using the OmniTrix to fight that boy. Hey, I didn't, remember? Naruto reminded him. You're lucky that Gaara boy stopped that squabble before you did use it, Azimuth said. I don't want you using the OmniTrix on others for petty reasons, even if he was planning to hit that boy. So when can I use it for real? Naruto asked impatiently. When you fully mastered all the abilities of your 10 aliens, and when I say you can. Azimuth answered firmly, while Naruto decided to let it go. He did so just in time to bump right into another boy with dark skin, short white hair, and was carrying a sword on his back. Azimuth, who fell off Naruto's shoulder, quickly hid behind the boy's leg. Oh, I really gotta stop doing this. Naruto groaned. Oh, man, sorry about bumping you, the boy began. I didn't hurt you, did I? No, I'm fine. Naruto answered. You won't tell anyone I did that, will you? He asked. If you do, then who knows what kind of trouble I'll get into for bumping a resident of this village, and what shame I'll bring to my own. This guy totally paranoid. Naruto thought. You are so clumsy, a voice scolded him. Naruto saw it came from a girl also with dark skin and red hair, who also carried a sword on her back. Sorry, Karui, the boy apologized. Enough with your apologies, the girl known as Karui said, before looking at Naruto. And you? Me? Naruto asked. Yeah, do you bump into others for the hell of it, or are you just plain rude? Hey, I am not. What's going on here? Another voice called, as they three saw another girl approach. Naruto saw she had blonde hair that was short, but her most noticeable feature was her bust. Naruto thought, wow, that size is bigger than my sexy jutsu appearance. The new girl spoke to Karui. Karui, were you causing trouble again? Kurui spoke, "No, Samui, I was just... He bumped moi," she pointed at Naruto accusingly. "But it was my fault." Moi added. "Don't cover for this stranger." Kurui chided him, while Samui shook her head with a sigh. Naruto thought, these two are like an old married couple. He saw the blonde-haired girl approach him, until she stood before him. "I'm sorry my two teammates annoyed you with their antics," she apologized stoically. It's no problem," he answered, while trying very hard not to look downward at her. "My name is Samui, and these are my teammates Kurui and moi. We come from the village Kumo." As you can see, she motioned to their Kumo headbands. "Yes, I can," Naruto answered. "Are you here for the Chunin exams too?" "We are," she answered. "Now then, could you tell us your name?" "Naruto Uzumaki," he answered, and noticed Samui hold out her hand to him. "A pleasure to meet you, Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto looked at her hand, and didn't want to appear rude to guests from outside the village and shook it. "Pleasure's all mine," he answered. They released their grip, as Samui turned to her team. "Come on, B-sensei's waiting for us." Her two teammates nodded, as they followed her, before Samui turned around, and spoke, "It was nice meeting you." Likewise," he answered, wondering if she meant that in her stoic tone. When they were gone, Azimuth climbed back up onto Naruto's shoulder. "Well, there's another one for your list of run-ins." "I know. Two teams from two different villages here for the Chunin exams," Naruto said. "I've read your village and Suna are supposed to be allies, but Konoha and Kumo have some past issues mostly involving bloodlines," Azimuth explained. "That is something we've learned in history class at the academy," Naruto admitted. "Well, better head back," he said as he hurried back to his apartment. At his apartment, Naruto was looking up at his ceiling deep in thought, while Azimuth was busy looking at some stuff from inside his pod. "Hey, Azimuth." "Yes," he looked over. "I'm not sure if you noticed, but Gaara seemed to have some air around him that got me tensed up," Naruto explained. "I could also feel strange around him myself. As if the very threat he was giving to that Kankuro boy seemed directed at everyone around him," Azimuth replied. "I know. I think he and I have something in common." "Oh, and what do you think that is?" Azimuth challenged him. "Like he's got something inside him just like I do," Naruto explained, before noticing Azimuth shifting his eyes away from his direction. "He does, doesn't he?" "If you think so," Azimuth answered. "Azimuth, don't play mind games with me," Naruto called him out. "Who's playing?" the Galvan asked, as Naruto only groaned before plopping back down on his bed. Later that night, Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurane were taking their leave from the administration building. "I can't believe we were actually able to get our genin into the Chunin exams," Kurane said in surprise. "Well, it's like Kakashi told Iruka, he managed to make Chunin when he was 6 years younger than our rookies were, and we made Chunin at their current ages as well," Asuma reminded her. "Yes, but Iruka's worry and Guy's warning does have me thinking if we made the right choice," Kurane said in doubt. "We all recommended them because we believed they were more than ready, Kurane," Kakashi reminded her. "You just need to keep telling yourself that." "Right," Kurane replied, with her faith renewed. "So, how has your team been, Kakashi?" Asuma asked curiously. "Well, same old same old." "ID that all?" Kurane asked, while raising a brow. "Well, Naruto has started changing his wardrobe." The two other Jonin were confused at his answer, wondering if that was seriously all he had to say, but remembered he's always been vague. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.